Hi guys, Mike Hayden here from Adventure Riding TV. And yeah, last night we pulled into Taylor's Arm to the pub with no beer. And realised, well, we pulled in and I had no front brake. So we wanted to get that sorted out before we decided to get in and drink the pub out of beer. And quickly I ran around, spoke to a few guys at the bar and found a guy that could get me some brake fluid without requiring to go into Maxwell. Maxwell's a small town, which is about a half an hour ride into town to go in from the pub with no beer and get brake fluid on a Sunday. So it's a bit of a risk. Found a guy, he said one condition he get me some brake fluid is he wanted to take my bike for a ride. So I said, yeah mate, you can ride the bike up and go get brake fluid. Before I knew it, he was out there, jumped on the XR, borrowed my helmet, and my XR went past the pub with no beer on the back wheel, all the way up the street. So when the guy got back with the brake fluid, we bled the brakes up, got him going, all sorted, good to go. We sat down had a beer with this guy and he told us some stories which maybe it would have been smart to ask these questions before I let him jump on my bike. That he was renowned for doing wheel stands past the pub with no beer, drunk on motorcycles. So anyway, booze and beer don't mix, guys. The guy had plenty of stories of how many times he's flipped it and hurt himself. And yeah, not good, so don't drink and ride. Anyway, we end up drinking the pub out of beer that night. The specific beer Mike and I drink, we actually run it out. Twice we've been there now, we've drunk the pub out of no beer, so it's pretty cool to say that we've drunk the pub with no beer out of beer twice, which is exciting. So the plan was the next day is to head up from Maxwell, head from the Taylor's Arm down into Maxwell, head up to Dorrigo. From Dorrigo, we're going to head over through the Cascade National Park, over to a place called Coramba, and hopefully end up somewhere near Grafton for the night to stop in and stay. After doing this ride over through the Cascade National Park, this is actually one of my favourite parts of the trip. I love riding around Wauchope, but also I love the big open roads, which you're going to see us cruise through here in a moment. It's just amazing. I love nothing more being on these big girls, cruising through these bushes, nice wide open trails. Mike and I run the Sienna headsets, the Bluetooth, so we get to have a conversation and talk the whole way through. Mike knows when a tricky bit's coming up because I stop talking to let him concentrate. And I don't know whether it helps him or hinders him. So Mike and I's relationship, we started Adventure Riding TV, this channel to help educate and share what we've actually done to create and build our relationship over the years as mates. I remember our first ride together. It's quite a memorable ride because I ended up getting lost in the bush for the night, and the boys spent hours and hours attempting to find me down in Bateman's Bay, which we'll share that story on Adventure Riding TV another day. Mike lives on the opposite side of the country to me. He lives in Perth, I live in Lismore, New South Wales. Mike and I talk daily on two reasons. So Mike runs a business called Advanced Business Abilities. Now Advanced Business Abilities focuses on leadership skills and communication training. We use all the technologies of advanced business abilities within our business, which means Mike and I speak daily for work, which can be challenging sometimes. You just want to call and have a conversation with a mate and you know it's more of a work call. So, and then also we spend time on a daily basis talking about our next bikes we want to upgrade to. Is our current conversation at the moment is looking to get some Honda Africa Twins and getting ourselves up to the Kimberley to do this ride. So stay tuned for our adventure up in the Kimberley. So it can be challenging talking daily about work and personal. And the key to making any relationship successful is the frequency of interaction. If you've got a mate that you haven't spoken to in ages, that you've used to ride bikes with, or even if it's just a mate you haven't rode bikes with, jump on the blower, the dog and bone, whatever you want to call it, and have a conversation. So Mike and I have been friends for 18 years now, I think, since 1999. We've been mates, and the key to that relationship only growing and growing and growing is our frequency of interaction. One thing I've learned over the years with getting out on the bikes and riding it is if you're not talking about it or planning it or doing it, it just doesn't happen. So even if it starts off as a phone call, just talking about planning a ride, you're more likely to get out on the ride, hang out with your mates if you're talking about it than if you're not. So jump on the phone, organise a ride with a mate, and in this description below, we'd love to hear about a story about you and a mate and what the lengths you go to about riding and getting out there and enjoying that experience of being free on a motorcycle. If you haven't subscribed yet, click the link down below and subscribe. Like this video if you do. We're heading to the Kimberley, and we've convinced two other mates to come along and hang out with us and enjoy the ride. So we'll see you in the Kimberley.